it's TxStampin Sharon. I am bringing you an anniversary card today, and I'm telling you, I have got lots of tips to share with you guys using this bundle, and it's a special anniversary card because it's my 40th anniversary card for my husband. I stressed all day long trying to make the right card for him. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, you can do so below. After you subscribe, hit that little bell. You'll be notified the next time I upload a video. I would love to hear your comments on my card. Oh, and stay with me till the end because I'm going to show you all of the other cards that I did that I didn't like. Maybe you'll like them. Here's my card. The meant to be bundle with the hearts and the sentiments and the framelits, I bet you're thinking just Valentines. Nope. You can use this for a wedding card. You can use this for an anniversary card like I'm going to be doing today. You can use it for just to say I love you to your sweetie pie. So it does coordinate with the Forever Lovely. And I am going to be using this stamp set on the inside because it says, I'll love you until the day after forever. I mean, it's our 40th wedding anniversary. So let me show you my card. It is my copper, my favorite copper. And I used the Tufted embossing folder. So I have some tips for you with that. And I have some tips that you're going to want to watch the rest of this video to see how I add this little edge to my hearts, because technically it's two separate pieces. If you have this set already, you'll understand what I mean. If you don't have it and you decide to purchase it, you'll understand what I mean. Here's the stamp set, and here are all the framelits. Well, not all of them. I've got a few off the mat because I'm going to be showing you some things. So it's all of these hearts and I mean just tons of framelits. Here's the largest one that I'm going to be using that I used from my copper. Whenever you're going to be using copper foil, I've shared this tip before, but I thought it'd be a great one to revisit. You just want to cut a piece that is, now this was a scrap that I had from all the cards that I played with. You just want to cut a piece that's big enough for your framelit, because when you run it through the embossing folder, anything that's not the embossing folder, when you run it through the Big Shot, you could find little cracks and crevices from your cutting plates, and you don't want to ruin a whole sheet or a whole strip of copper foil. So just cut a piece big enough. Like if I was going to be cutting this, I would just come right around like that. So you can see where I already cut the other heart out. So that is one tip. The other tip is there is a plastic coating on this, and when you cut this framelit, it actually cuts out a stitched framelit. Let me show you. It cuts out this stitched and it cuts out a solid. When you are trying to get the stitched portion out, it could be a little hard because of that plastic coating on the back of the copper. I recommend that you take a paper piercer and just start removing that. It's not going to hurt the copper on the other side. It's just going to help you run this through the Big Shot and get better results when you go to remove everything. This is kind of a big piece. I'm going to very carefully pull it. You can even see that clear plastic right there? So you just want to take all of that off. See that plastic? It's hard to cut through. So that is one tip I wanted to share. The other tip I have for you is when you run it through the Tufted embossing folder, I placed my copper right on top and ran them both through together. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to make sure I was going the right way. See, that way is a different way. I wanted to make sure that everything was going the right way, and it's still embossed underneath. It didn't hurt this piece at all. It still embossed it, but it just allowed me to be able to match up. And when I show you, after I show you this card, I'm going to show you the other cards that I tried to come up with, and I'll point out how I figured out this embossing tip because it looked funny, and I'll show you that. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. So my next tip for you is we're going to be stamping our meant to be and I love our laugh together. My husband says this to me almost every day. We live in a lovely place in a lovely part of the country, and he just loves it here. One day we'll move back to Texas, but right now we are not there. We're in southern Arizona. And he loves our laugh together. I'm going to go ahead and rub the embossing buddy on here. You can tell where I already cut out the other two. And by the way, this helps get that powder off your fingers. This is supposed to dust your house with it or something. I figured out when I was stamping these, it's pretty small to pour the copper powder on, to hang on to it when I was doing the heat setting. And I know that if I place that right there, I can ink up meant to be, stamp it right in the middle, pick up my framelit, move it down, and then I'm going to stamp I love our laugh together and my little heart. Then I can pour my embossing powder on. Whoops. And then I have something to hang on to when I do my heat setting. I'm going to share some more tips with you. I think I'm up to like tip number 6 or 7. I don't know. You want to just start poking these just carefully to get that to release with your paper piercer. And on this big one, I found that I do have to pretty much poke all of them to get it to pop out. I feel like this is a very masculine type of card. I don't know if it's because of the copper. All right, ready for another tip? Where's my framelit? All right, so I cut out my heart so you'll understand it does a heart like that, a solid heart. And then I had, accidentally left a piece of, I think it was very vanilla cardstock in the frame. See that? Can you see the vanilla? And look how easy this just pops out. I didn't have to even poke it. I'm going to leave that in there because it just makes it so much easier. That's another great tip. I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue to adhere my heart to my embossed layer. And I want to line up my, oh yeah, love it. Can you see how everything just lines right up? Just love that thought. Just loved how I figured that out. The first couple of hearts that I did, I used multi-purpose glue on this. It's so thin, I really got a lot of glue everywhere. I decided, there's got to be a better way. I could have tried to use my adhesive sheets, but I just went and grabbed my snail, and I'm going to show you what it's going to do and then how you're going to fix it. Let's see. Oh, you can't really see, but I can see that there is adhesive right there. I'm just going to take my paper piercer, and it just, it's like a magnet. It just sticks right to it. It's just a cleaner way to put adhesive on, and this is a cleaner way to get it off. It's much easier on the fingers. And we're going to add this to here. I will have all of the measurements and supplies that I used in the description below. You can click the more button and you can see everything if it doesn't just pop up. I have the very vanilla thick cardstock for the base. I just love the thick. I just feel like it gives the cards even more, I don't even want to say personality. It just makes them more quality, higher quality. Ready for some more tricks? Remember how I said these are all 2 pieces. How do I keep them together? Dimensionals. I flipped these over and I made sure they were good and lined up. And then when I had added the dimensional, I made sure that I caught the black and the vanilla. Normally, I would probably not use 4 dimensionals on something this small, but I really need all sides to be adhered. That's the reason. All right, we're going to do this one. I sure hope that y'all are enjoying all the different tips that I'm sharing, because like I said, I have spent the better part of today designing this card for my husband. I mean, 40 years, that's a lot, right? I mean, that's a big deal these days. And I really wanted a special card. And I had it in my head that I wanted a shaker card. So that's not what I ended up with. But I'm very happy with what I ended up with, and I think he will love his card. Wait till I show you where I started. Remember when we first started, I pointed out that I was going to be using the Forever Lovely stamp set because I wanted this sentiment for the inside. I'm going to use Memento Black. I don't know, it makes me a little teary-eyed when I think back of our life together and our marriage, and I don't know, I'm touched myself with this card. All right, let me show you the cards that I started with today. Remember, I said I wanted a shaker card, but they just weren't coming together for me. Now these aren't even mounted on cardstock or card bases. So a little shaker card. I added some dazzling diamonds. Did you know that you can stamp on window sheets? Here's another tip for you. I actually stamped with Stays On. Stays On, you can stamp on plastic, aka window sheets. However, it still took a while to dry, so it was still wet. So I poured black embossing powder, and did you know with the Stampin' Up heat tool, there are two settings. One sounds really low, one sounds high. The low sound is for embossing on window sheets. It won't melt the window sheet like the higher setting will. What is that? Tip number 10, guys? All right, here's another one. Let me tell you why I didn't like this card. I decided to add rhinestones to all of the tufted areas. Well, what happened was, let me tap it all the way down so you can get the gist. My hearts had to go around all those little rhinestones because it was too much texture in there. I don't know, I like it, but it just wasn't. This is the 40th anniversary. All right, here's my last one. It's cute. I like them, but it just wasn't what I wanted for my husband. This is what I wanted for my husband. If you followed me for very long at all, you know how much I love copper. So I really love this card. I think he will too. I think it looks more masculine than perhaps my black and red cards, but I don't know, I just had it in my head that I wanted to do a shaker card and I wanted it to be black and red. Funny how all my other cards led me to my final one. If you're interested in purchasing this bundle, you can go to the link below in the description box, head over to my website and get the Meant to Be bundle and save 10%. Happy stamping, y'all!